Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with more WNBA news. Of course, I'm doing the review of the WNBA game this past week, this past Saturday. An amazing game. I watched all of this game. This was actually my first WNBA All Star game that I've watched, and it definitely didn't disappoint. Similar to the NBA game, it had some of the same elements: the lack of defense, a lot of free range shooting, just the good fun nature, the celebrities in the building. And I'll talk about those celebrities in a little bit, but it really didn't disappoint. Maybe because it's my first time watching it, but a lot of people get tired of the lack of defense, and it's just feel like they're just shooting around, playing around. But there was a lot of chemistry and camaraderie in this game. Just just to see these competitive players, especially in the WNBA, they're very competitive. Um, to see them actually get to have fun. And I know the big message was, about them complaining about the pay and wearing the t-shirts, which hopefully they get that figured out pretty soon. But the events surrounding the game, it was very good natured, and it just showed that the league was in good hands and trending in the right way. But this game was different than the NBA game because there were a lot of rookies, or a good amount of rookies compared to how many players there were, um, that were established veterans and things like that. But they had three rookies in this game: Sonia Citron, Kiki Ariafin, and Paige Beckers, which all did a great job in this game. I'm a huge fan of their games as I watched them in college last year, especially Sonia Citron because her mid-range game, which is a lost art in the WNBA and NBA, she was able to uh, make a good name for herself and a good career off of having mostly a mid-range game and defense, especially being an on-ball defender that she is. So it was very good to see her in this game as well, because she usually doesn't have a game that's suitable for all-star type activities usually. And then just to think about the Mystics having two players in this game, uh, they have a very bright future with Kiki Ariafin and Sonia Citron, and um, Georgia Amore has been out all year with an injury, and she's their outside shooting that they have. And then they'll mix her with Shakira Austin, who's been doing well, playing in the center of that team. But they're going to be very good going forward with the shooting that they have and the defensive ability and the length that they have. They'll be a very good team going forward, and I'm excited to see what the Mystics will be able to do next year. But I was also impressed by the long range shooting in this game, especially the 4 pointers, which are a little bit farther back than the original 3 point range of the WNBA's range. Which Nafisha Collier, I think she made four of those, and I think she missed one. She didn't take any regular threes, but it was just impressive to see everyone at least attempting those. Of course, some of them was air balls, and some of them missed. Um, Slightly, but for the most part, they were pretty efficient with these shots, and they were very, they were selective with the shots. They weren't just taking them with defenders all over them. They was just, allowed to shoot these from the AT&T logo that they had. Um, and then despite the Aja Wilson playing restricted minutes and Caitlin Clark being, sitting out the whole game to injury, I felt like the energy was still pretty good. The energy was just right for an all-star game, even though it was in Indiana, Caitlin Clark's, home, well, not hometown, but in her um, home team, or her team's town. You thought it would have been a little bit different with her not being there, but the crowd seemed to be into it, and they seemed to still be tuned in for the most part. So it was a lot of excitement. But yeah, seeing Juju Watkins on the sideline, that was major for me. She seemed to be in good spirits, and we know once she gets to the league, it'll be a whole different type of energy. There'll be even more superstardom in the league, because you have the Asia Wilsons and the Caitlin Clarks and Angel Reese's in the league now. But when Caitlin gets there, Juju Watkins get there, it's going to be a different level. And then Flau'jae should be there next year. So there'll be even more to that. And, you'll have stars like Lauren Betts, who doesn't talk as much or has that much promotion or markability, but she's definitely an elite scorer, especially in that post. So it's going to be a lot of exciting basketball to watch next year. But just seeing Juju and Watkins on the sidelines definitely, gave me some uh, hope and for that to ascend the league to where it needs to go. But with all that said, Nafisha Collier definitely stole the show in this game with her impressive MVP performance, shooting 36. Well, she had 36 points on 81% shooting. That's insane to think about. I can't even do that on a video game. She was shooting 80% from the 3-point line, and she was 6 from the free throw line, which it wasn't a lot of free throws in this game at all, really. So I didn't really think she shot 6 free throws, but Nafisha Collier's performance was an omen of things to come for me. Because the Lynx right now are in the number one spot in the rankings. They have a huge gap between them and the second ranked team. And they've just been dominant all year. And most of the teams in the league that are in the running for that contention have issues right now. The New York Liberty just got Jonquel Jones back last night, and they won last night, but it's going to take some use to getting her into the lineup and getting used to, just that adjustment period. Indiana, of course, we talked about Caitlin Clark. She's been out for a good part of the year with injuries, hamstring issues that nag along all year. So they're going to have to figure that one out. They've been pretty much like 500, hovering around 500 all year. Atlanta is a good team, but they're pretty new at this, so we'll see. And then Phoenix, of course, is a newer team that pretty much remanned the whole roster. So we'll see what they'll be able to do, but they're pretty much a younger team. So it's going to take some time. And even the Valkyrie has been doing a good job in the expansion role, but we'll have to see. We don't have any history on them. It's not many expansion teams to be that successful that early. You have to go back to like the Jacksonville Jaguars when they got into the NFL, and then it was good for about a couple of years, and they just kind of vanished off the scene, and they've been sporadic. So we'll have to see, what kind of consistency these teams will have or what they're made out of in the playoffs, because that's a different ball game. A lot of people don't plan for the Valkyrie because they don't have any film yet, but next year they'll have more film to study and scout and different things, and they'll figure out their game plans and things like that. So it'll be a little bit different next year, but nevertheless, it's a great season for the Golden State Valkyrie, and a very good year for Nafisha Collier and the Lynx, especially to try to get another banner up there in Minnesota. But side note, I did love the Glorilla performance. I think it was good, but I think she had some sound issues, and I think she compromised her art too much because of her content of her music. She couldn't say all of the words, and a lot of words and pretty much whole sentences she couldn't say. So it sounded very choppy, not only just from the audio perspective, just from the content she was able to put out there, being a kid friendly event. So she couldn't really say all the words that she wanted to say. But nevertheless, I think it was a great performance and just a great overall experience for the WNBA. And I look forward to seeing them more in the future. And as always, until next time, I'll see you next time.